last episode of Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, it was quite an emotional episode. Should have expected that, but even if I did, well, I mean, I kinda did. It still hit me anyways. But here we are with Fern, and I would presume we're going to get to learn a little bit more about her, and eventually Frieren will end up taking her with her to her for her journey and all that. Full links are on Patreon, first episode's free, and early access in a YouTube membership. Other than that, let us get started.
魔法使いに必須な3つの要素の合わせ技で構成されているんだけど、一つは魔力の量とそれを打ち出す力の強さ、そしてコントロールする力。ここまでは知ってるよね。
Mm-hmm.
さっきは途中で魔法が離散してしまったね。
She's just out here fishing. Mana and firing strength are lacking.
それは一朝一夕でどうにかなることじゃない。才能に関わらず何年もかけていかなければいけないよ。
Mm-hmm.
魔力をコントロールする力はとても高いみたいだね。みんなそこで手こずるんだけど、その心配はなさそうだし。
Oh, so you've just got the easy part to sort out, huh? You've already got the hard part dealt with. Oh shit, is that salmon? Damn, I could go for some salmon right about now. She's spending this time deciphering and also teaching her magic. Oh, damn, blew up the whole snowman. Sunbathing? Sunbathing? He's just... Hey, you know, that's how he's been... Damn, he's just tossing all his vegetables at her? 4 years. Ooh. She's studying too hard. Mm-hmm. Before she does. Uh-oh. I'm gonna leave her behind. Fern's just over here like, oh, gotta quickly get this going. Uh-oh. He triggered his old man card and fell down. And now he can't get up. I know, it's all that sunbathing. It's been getting a lot of vitamin D. Oh. That was a nice sound effect. Yeah, let that old man rot in the bed. Eventually isn't good enough. And you'll be left alone. Are you also trying to find the immortality stuff? I'm just a crook. Yet here you are, survived after drinking for so long. Died without doing anything. It'll be a waste. So you gotta keep memories of your parents? Mm-hmm. That's one way to say it. Yeah, I'm leaving her alone. Didn't contain any spells. Just a theory? Not wasted, but like, you know, like, it's a long game from this man. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't be wrong to call her a proper mage. She made it in time before I croaked. You can take her with you. Of course, he's a crooked priest. Please leave this place tonight. Losing anyone else. So, you're just gonna rot in your bed? We're not even gonna bury you? Goddamn. Are you calling somebody at least? Hey, I'm gonna die in like a week. Can you bury me? Mm-hmm. Talk to her. Yeah. Yeah, don't be like me. Why does it sound like they're saying Frieren? Oh, she's crying. Is she cutting onions?
なんでフェルンを救ったの？
Mm-hmm.
そうだね。
What, you expected him to sit there and see that child and be like, do a flip? Oh.
私も
Do the same as Himo? Damn, look at her. Puncturing a hole right through that. Ah, finally, she gets to do what she came here for.
ありがとうございました。恩を返すことができました。
Damn, pouring him 2 drinks?
私はただしてやられただけだよ。この生臭坊主に。
Hey, yo, giving him 2 drinks, dude. This man drinking good in the afterlife.
じゃあ行こうか。
What a great, like, watercolor picture. It didn't have to be magic. Couldn't have been anything else to help her repay, essentially. Repay Heiter. Damn, dude. Harvesting crops is so easy when you got magic. Is that like a credit card? What is this?
報酬は何だったのですか？
Information. Folk spell. Warm tea? Like, the tea will just pop out of nowhere?
銅像の錆をきれいに取る。
Removing rust from bronze statue.
甘いブドウを酸っぱいブドウに変えるまで。
These are very minute spells, dude.
趣味だから。
Yeah, it's what keeps her entertained.
本当に魔法がお好きなのですね。ほどほどだよ。フェルンと同じで。
Only somewhat.
違うような気がします。同じだよ。
We're the same. Maybe just 2 sides of the same coin, you know? Oh, a statue of Himo. Well, it is out in the forest. Despite him saving them. Damn, he killed that thing with 1 slice? Well, you're an old woman now. Everybody who's born the new younger generations, right?
自業自得だね。
It's what he deserves. That's what he gets.
ポーズに18時間悩んで職人さんぶち切れ。花畑を出す魔法使えましたよね。何か適当な花でも。
Hmm?
いや、草月草の花
Blue moon weed flowers.
ヒンメルの故郷の花だ。でも見たことない花は魔法では。
Well, I guess we better start learning about it. Hey, yo.
ここら辺にはもうないの？
Maybe they're further in, huh?
行くよ。はい。
She snuck them in her... She stole those squirrel rat things!
何か隠したね。怒らないから見せなさい。
Haha, got him!
シードラットだね。
Seed
食べ
rats.
る害獣だよ。
No. Just looks like it. Somebody's got a bad sleeping posture. You better get used to that view. Just our butt sticking out. So, how long has it been? 6 months?
始めてからフリーレン様の魔法に対する執着が
Extraordinary.
何年でも何十年でも
Yes, and she has all the time in the world.
フリーレン様は多くの人を救える力を持った魔法使
But
い
she's not using it to...
ありもしないもののために時間を
Yeah.
使うだなんてあってはならないことです。
Well, it might still exist, you never know. It once existed.
だけど彼女の方が私たちよりもずっと大人だからその気持ちを素直に伝えれば
If you honestly conveyed those feelings to her. What is this? Do you have seeds to these flowers this whole time? Yo, Frieren, I'm sick and tired of staying here.
薬効があるため保管されていた禁煙種の種
Of a related species.
私一人の時間ってわけでもない。
If you're running out, you're running on somebody else's
し
time.
たら切り上げるよ。もう少しって。
I'll end my search
もう
soon.
少しだよ。
Soon!
あなたは
away! Goddamn seed rats! What is this, like a UV ray? You think the rats eat the seeds and then they like poop it out and like, but like there's still particles of the seeds in it and like so like they grow the flowers? Just frolicking. Gave her a flower crown. So? Yeah, so this is where y'all have been hiding. Blue petals? So look, they've been eating all the seeds and they've just been pooping it out over here. Ah, they bury their food. But they're burying seeds. I was gonna say, it's I'm gonna leave. Wow. There was dirt up here? How are these flowers just taking roots up here? Through the cracks, I guess. But you do. For different reasons. A necessary skill. Out of everything, you chose magic. Wow. Does that mean you can like take seeds from these and like grow more? Oh, flower crown for him. Very nice. A very nice, chill episode, honestly. You know, we've got Heiter down in the dirt now, drinking away, you know? But as I made mention last episode, you know, he's out here playing the long game. Oh, you won't take care of her, huh? We'll see about that. So, you know, Himmel and Heiter's gone. Hey, yo, Eisen, it's your times. Your time's up, Eisen. There's this one part in the beginning when Frieren is talking about her, about like the magic, the 3 things to magic. Like control, strength, and what else is it? I feel like she said 3 things, but I only catch 2 things because I'm just like, I feel like she didn't say the 3rd thing for some reason. But no, she said 2 things, and then she said control is one of them, but then the other 2, one of it is power, and the other one I currently can't remember. Hold on, we're gonna go right back to, wait, preview! Good thing these previews are just text, honestly. I much prefer those kind of previews other than just showing us like a visual. Okay. This is for long-range magic. Okay, so it's a combination of 3 key factors essential to mages. Amount of mana, the strength with which it's fired, and the level of control. Okay, so mana inside the amount of mana you've got, and the strength. Okay. Okay, but she has great control over it. Alright, well, I guess, I'm just gotta go back to the center. Alright, so that was episode 2 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty good episode. It kind of feels like it's the introduction to the slice of life that I feel like, you know, for this show. Really does felt like a slice of life, except like a literal slice. Like we just went like 4 years, 6 months. You know, we're just out here passing the time, dude. Fern is growing up quick. So we've got Heiter, who is again playing the long game out here. You won't take Fern in because she gets in your way. All right, spend all this time teaching her magic before I croak. And so she'll be a proper mage by then, and she can accompany you without holding you back. Frieren learns from Fern that Heiter saved her life, And so we see, I would presume, as what Heiter was saying, she was out here ready to jump off this cliff, but Heiter ends up telling her, oh, it's a waste for you to die now. A long time ago, I lost an old friend. Unlike me, he was straight as an arrow, and he never abandoned anyone who was in need. If he'd survived instead of me, he would have saved a lot of people, even as an old man. Anyway, since I'm not like him, I planned to live out the rest of my days quietly. But one day, I suddenly realized something. If I died without doing anything, all the courage, strength of will, and friendship I learned from him, even all my precious memories, would vanish from this world. And so she thinks about her family. I don't know what this whole scene is, honestly. And for some reason, I thought that was Heiter. But I don't think that's not him. That's just some other mage priest guy, probably. Yeah, as he says, if you have precious memories inside yourselves as well, then I think it'd be a waste for you to die. And so this kind of goes into what Fern talks about. Mr. Heiter has always feared dying and leaving me alone, and that's what he mentions last episode, right? He's just like, well, suddenly as I grew older, I'm suddenly more afraid of death. Like, oh my god. Well, spooked out here, and of course it's because he is now raising a kid, and it's just kind of like, okay, I can't just fucking die and then have this kid have to fend for herself again. But I do very much enjoy the way that he talks to her in terms of like, hey, don't jump off this cliff, don't go be out here killing yourself. Instead, what you should do is that if you have all these memories inside of your parents, if you were to die, then like basically everybody else would vanish. And so you should keep these memories inside. You should basically they live on with you, right? It's like that whole feeling. It feels a little cheesy, but like I certainly enjoyed the way Heiter talked about this to Fern. And to consider that Heiter now, Fern now has precious memories of Heiter, right? The fact that he is able to, and what Heiter has mentions about like all the things that he learned from Himmel, and if he didn't go out of his way to do exactly what Himmel would have done, which is to take Fern in, then he would be wasting Himmel's memories. And with him doing that, right, he is essentially passing Himmel's memories onto Fern, or at the very least, like, the traits that Himmel has passed on to Heiter. Right? So, in a way, even Himmel is, like, living inside of Fern, which is, don't take that out of context, but in a sense, like, his traits, his memories is also within Fern as well. And Heiter essentially has accomplished two things, right? It's actually the same thing, but he has kept his memories of his, I'll say partner for some reason, of Himmel onward, and by doing so, he has saved Fern. I actually don't know where I was going with this. I got lost. My brain has stopped working. He has saved Fern because that was what Himmel would have done. By doing that, he passed on Himmel's words and traits, and even just not even memories, but like that feeling of Fern to that feeling of Himmel to Fern. But also Fern now has precious memories of Heiter, which she will now continue to carry on with. So Heiter now lives. I was gonna say this again. Heiter now lives inside Fern, right? His memories is now with her. So hey, he is essentially passing two people onto Fern. Good for her, huh? Guys, good for him, I mean, goddamn. And in this way, it really explains the beauty of humanity. Is, even though we're not as long-lived as elves, Frieren, who can just frickin' live for how many fucking years, she can live past multiple generations of humans, but if there's something that continues to live on, it is the human will, and I am totally not thinking of frickin' Demon Slayer right now. But yeah, I'm definitely am not thinking about that, and fucking Umayashiki just going on this fucking long speech. But If there is such thing as immortality, it is the human will. So Frieren finishes deciphering this whole thing, and she's just like, yeah, there's no spells to bring back the dead or granting immortality, and Heiter's just like, yeah, I know. You know, if the frickin' guy who wrote this actually had the spell, don't you think he would have used it? But Frieren finds out that, you know, he had just been using this excuse to keep her here and to train Fern so that hopefully Fern will not be a bother to her anyways. But he continues to put on his brave face, as Frieren says, right? He says, leave this place tonight. As you can see, I don't have much longer. So she's out here, what is she chopping? Leeks? Or green onions, it feels like, maybe, I don't know. Just chopping something green. It could also be cucumbers. I don't want her to experience losing anyone else, says Heiter. Frieren, please look after Fern. And so Frieren says, are you trying to put on a brave face again? Right? Even the face of even in front of death and everything, Fern has been ready to say goodbye to you for some time now. What you need to do before your death is to give her a proper farewell. And here is Frieren just crying, and make as many memories as you can. Especially for her, right? Because, like, you would have to imagine the fucking regrets that Fern would have if she were to leave and then she knows that you fucking died by yourself. In this bed. And again, you're just gonna rot in this fucking bed? Like, who's gonna bury your ass? Did you already call a funeral service or some shit for, like, to come a week after? Frieren, you really are a kind girl. Yeah, she's out here crying, and we even got Fern, who's, you know, getting a little sniffles out here. Oh my god, that's a fucking large spatula. What the hell? This is a cutting board? What is this? It's a tiny cutting board. But then again, she's got a wooden cutting board right here. What is this? So we've got Frieren, who's just out here sneaking up on these people and their conversation. You know, we've just got Fern, who's talking with Heiter out here. Is this a flash? I can't figure out sometimes. I'm just like, is this? I think this was about the age when she was, right? I suppose so, but you know, those two get to talk at the very least. And here she is looking at. Actually, now I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna stop thinking about it. All right, but with Heiter saying, "I did what Himmel would have done," Frieren decided, yeah, you know, I think I'll do the same too. I'm going to take care of Fern. You know, I'm gonna take her with me on my journey now that Heiter is gone. Oh, I didn't read this part. I was too busy looking at the pumpkins. 26 years after the death of Himmel the hero in the Turk region located in the Central Lands. 26 years after the death of Himmel? And then how many years had passed when Frieren saw Heiter again? Not really sure. How old is Fern at this point then? Is she like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14? Maybe she was like 6 or 7 when Heiter found her, and then 4 years had passed, so she would be 11 or 12. Anyways, after Heiter's death, we kind of get a little bit into a feel, you know, of slice of life. I feel like. Where Fern is just following Frieren and basically seeing, oh, this is what she's been fucking doing this whole time? Just gathering, doing simple works and then getting rewards, which are just like simple fucking spells. Like the spell that she learned, folk magic. It's a spell that produces warm tea. You know, it's kind of like that spell with the flowers, except like you gotta figure out, you gotta know what the tea is, you know, like now I can produce specifically warm black tea, you know. So Fern says to Frieren, you really do love magic. And Frieren says somewhat, right? Like you? Yeah, only somewhat like you. I feel like we're a little different. So that's what Fern, this is the whole stance that Fern has had for like the rest of the half, right? Where she sees Frieren and like, oh man, Frieren's really into all these magic and like she really, really loves it, but she keeps saying that we're the same. All right, hold on. Yeah, she says we're a little different, and then Frieren says we're the same. I see it in you. We are the same, you and I. So towards the end, Fern asks Frieren, why are you so passionate about magic? I don't understand. And Frieren says, but you do understand. You never gave up on becoming a mage. That's different, Fern says. I would have been happy to learn any skill that allowed me to support myself. She feels like this is a necessary thing. It didn't have to be magic, she says. But you chose magic, says Frieren. Right, and that like gets her to think, oh, you know, back in this when Heiter was still alive, right? She's out here doing this magic, and I would presume Heiter's just like, wow, this is really beautiful. I'm really glad that you did this, you know. So that got a smile out of Fern, and she says, "You're right. Yeah, I chose magic in the end. You know, I could have done anything else, but I chose magic in the end." And hold on, if I can figure out this part. So Frieren says, I used to live much more apathetically, but then I got to know an idiot who complimented the spells I gathered. That's all. And Fern says, that's a silly reason. But in the end, Fern has the same silly reason too. Oh, these two just, I mean, we really are just simple creatures in the end. We keep doing things that we love. We keep doing certain things because a person we cared about complimented us on it, and we're just like, yeah, we're gonna keep doing it. But I enjoy that Frieren sees herself in Fern, and you know, just a lot of there's a lot of memories being passed on out here, and you know, I really do enjoy that whole message, especially like in this episode and last episode as well. Very fun. We also had the initial problem that Fern had, which was, oh, we've been searching for this blue moon weed for 6 months now. Like, this flower doesn't even exist. It's been fucking decades since somebody had saw it, you know? And you're like, why are we wasting time searching for this thing? You know? And so she ends up going over to the old lady and tells her, you know, Frieren's obsession with magic is extraordinary. At this rate, she'll continue searching for years, if not decades. She's a mage who possesses the power to save many people. She shouldn't spend her time searching for something that doesn't exist. So she has such great power. Why isn't she using it to save people? Why is she just doing, like, these minute shit? Right, as she kind of mentions towards the beginning of their journey, we've just been doing simple spells and getting all these. We're doing simple work and getting these tiny little spells, and like, for what? You know, like, why are we collecting them? And the old lady, dude, she just knows immediately when she hears Fern says that. She's just like, "You're so young." I was young like you once. Am I wrong? Says Fern. No, really. Yeah, I don't think so. But Frieren must see things differently. Since she's so much more mature than we are, I'm sure she'd understand if you honestly conveyed those feelings to her. I'm glad this old lady is just like, yeah, you know, just talk about it. Talk about the Fern, you know? She's so much more mature than we are. And I'm just over like... So Fern takes her up on her advice and talks to Frieren about this. And Frieren... it's just like, yeah, you know, I guess. And also she gave the seeds of a related species, you know, just so they can plant around the Himmel statue for that one instead. And so Frieren's like, yeah, I get it, Fern. I made you worry. I give you a head pat, which is something that Himmel does to her. So, you know, I don't know why that just clicked in my head now. But, again, just a lot of, like, traits from Himmel that just, like, leaks through, right? He's a very influential man. There you go. I'm not just spending my own time on this, says Frieren. It's time to go. And Fern was just like, whew, thank goodness. And then Frieren's just like, I'll end my search soon. And Fern's just like, whoa! How many years is soon? Soon, she says. Soon, as in within the next 10 minutes. But Fern's just like, no! 10 years! But yeah, this is a bit of a conflict when it comes to, you know, being around an elf and you're just a puny human who gets to live, at the very least, hopefully 80 years, you know? Hopefully. or even 70 years, or even 60 years if you're fucking lucky enough, right? And Frieren, again, gets to live for however many years, 1,000 years at the minimum, maybe. When you have a long-lived creature, they don't really think too much of a time, and you as a human, you literally live hopefully day by day, but when you here in the modern age, when you are just being a fucking slave worker out here and you end up like working all fucking day and all that, it really does feel like the time passes by so fucking fast, but also so slow at the same time. As humans, I really do feel like we should take things day by day, but also like again, I'm going back into this where like if you end up into like a rhythm, like a schedule, and you just continuously do that schedule and like not really think too much, it kind of feels like Frieren, where Frieren has like her hobby, as she says, and she's just continuously going through doing simple work in order to get simple spells, and she just continuously do that. Or where here she is searching for this flower and she's just in that mode of just like, all right, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go try to find these, I'm gonna go eat, take a bath, and I'm gonna go sleep, and then wake up and I do the same thing again. And that's kind of how I feel like with people here in this world, in this modern age, where they have to fucking work to live. And they just get through that, and then they get old, and then eventually they feel like they've wasted their lives. And unfortunately, we're not like elves where we can just live on forever. But also I feel like if we were like elves and we get to live on forever, that's a lot of years working. I don't know if I want to work for 200 years, What the fuck was I talking about again? I feel like I just went off topic. Actually, no, I don't think I got off topic. I think what I was talking about was exactly, yeah, I didn't jump off the train. I was on the train. The train was just going everywhere. But. Even though, we do get into that whole feeling of like we're on a schedule, we're on like we've got habits, and like we are continuously doing the same thing over and over and over, and we feel like time is passing us by so fast. And it's just like that's the one thing that you need to think about, where you have to take it day by day and try to live out your life, try to find the nice things in life, and enjoy, and also hopefully enjoy the simple things as well. And in the end, all you really want towards the end of your death is towards the end of your death, when it's your time to go as humans, you just want to know that you live good, that hopefully you enjoyed your life. I feel like that's kind of that for Fern, where like, I mean, as the old lady says, you're so young, you want to, of course, you're a youngin', you want to go out and you want to make something of yourself, or at the very least for Fern, she wants Frieren to make something of herself, right? She wants Frieren to go out and do much cooler shit instead of finding simple magic all the time. And that is an understandable thing for Fern. And I would presume maybe this is an issue that Fern will continue to have with Frieren when Frieren gets obsessed into something, and then she's just like, all right, we're gonna stay here for the next 2 years or something, and Fern's just like, ah. I would presume this is a problem that is going to persist, but overall, I enjoyed this episode. If I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below, and that's it. Bye!